Hello, my name is Mr. Bryce Williams, and I am an early childhood educator. I've been teaching 14 years, and this is my third year in kindergarten in Wynn. And before that, I taught kindergarten in Forest City. And I taught first grade 3 years in Wynn, so a total of 14 years. Um, as a literacy intervention program, um, the goals and objectives. We want our students to excel and grow as a reader and as a math student. Um, we try to have those goals in place so that they can work on them and do their best. Um, a lot of things are changing with the standards now, but that's what we do as far as getting prepared for the intervention. Um, The students are normally placed in intervention according to their grades, um, our RTI, and several assessments that are given. But we also look at the DIBELS assessment, and if we see if that child is like in the yellow area or red or just that borderline, we try to include them in the intervention, literacy intervention. Um, We have an intervention for each grade. We have one for kindergarten, we have one for first grade, and one for intermediate. Um, in our building, it's pre-K through second grade, but we're getting a kindergarten center built. So eventually, when primary, we'll have grades pre-K to third grade. Um, the as far as organization wise, we have a literacy facilitator and a math facilitator. And those kids are grouped, like I said, from the assessments that were given, their grades, looking at DIBELS, and then they are pooled. The ones who need it most are pooled with the intervention during the time. We have interventions in the morning, and then we have them again in the afternoons. I am an inclusion teacher. There's two on each hall. Um, so I have several students in my classroom that follows the inclusion plan. Um, we do a lot of things in small groups. And as far as the organization for the literacy, they do things in small group, and so usually the interventions usually last to maybe 25 to 30 minutes um, in small group with the literacy interventionist. Um, we use the phonics first curriculum, and we focus on kindergarten. We focus on a letter a week, and if we and we also work on that in small group while the kids are working in literacy stations, working on skills that they have learned in the classroom, and we spend a week on that. And if that child is still, and we do our sound test on Friday, it'll be words that they have to write down according to the sounds. If we see that some of those students did not do well on that assessment, then next week on small group, we will continue working on um, that sound, and hopefully those interventions or small group times we can help with the learning. Um, far as screening and monitoring, um, we have like I said, we use DIBELS, and those are we in the classroom we do the DIBELS with the students. Some of them they might need only 2 week, and some might need every 4 weeks, or some be every 2 weeks. But we use that, and then, like I said, and then at the beginning of the year, the school starts, we have the intervention is like the support staff who's working there. They will pull those students and they will test them as well, and we can get those reports in. We can look at where they fall under, and that would kind of help us get our groups divided like they should in the classroom. Um, we are able to, as far as grouping, we like I said, we group our kids according to their skills. If we see that students are struggling, like in my room, I see this group is struggling with letters, then they will be in a group, and I will work on letters and sounds with them. Um, and then if I have a strong active group like I do now, they are reading books. I give them books, and that's what we focus on. But mostly my interventions are really with my students who are, I don't like to say struggle, but they are striving. So I work with them to get them being able to recognize the letters and the sounds. Um, and this is the way we also involve parents. We send those, when we take those map tests and all that, we send all that home with a letter to it to explain and show how the test was given, and it shows the child's placement and where they need to work more on and all of that. And we kind of give some ideas what they can do at home, and then we also share with them at parent teacher conference what we are doing in the classroom, and hopefully that they will take what we share home and practice, so they're getting it at school and at home. Um, like I said, we have each grade has a grade chair. This is our chairman of the grade, excuse me. And then we have our facilitators, one for math and one for literacy. And they are usually the ones who lets us know when we're meeting and planning. Let's see. And like I said, we have scheduled meetings. By us being a big school, we have grade pod meetings on Wednesdays for we can kind of discuss and meet and see what we need to change, what we need to add. And so this year we started using late Mondays where the kids come to school, but we have the support staff watching them as we are meeting and preparing for the week, looking at students' grades and looking at the skills and the standards and all that, and putting those things together so that we can work with our students on that. Um, and like I say, our professional development is usually, we try to meet on Wednesdays if we can. If not, a lot of that is provided for us to do in the summer. Like this summer, we went ahead and did, not the past month, we went ahead and did our screenings for our kindergartners, because this summer we have to have, excuse me, extra professional development. So we use, and see, by us being us, we go around, we start, like, I think not a summer school, but we start in July and we get out in May. But so by us having a short summer, we try to use that time for us to get rest and do our PD hours. Let's see. And then our grade level meetings, like I said, we try to do those on Wednesdays, if time allows. And then far as volunteers, we haven't had many since but since COVID. But they are still welcome to come. They do try to come on a lot of our events, like we haven't get ready for field day. We like for the volunteers to come in and help with that. Different things that we do have at the school. We appreciate the volunteers. We've had retired teachers come in and help us work with the students. They might take 4 or 5 of our students to another room and work on literacy skills, where they need alphabet, or writing, or however they need it, that we have those volunteers as well. And then our evaluation, like we've had our in the years, so now he's trying to meet with our principals to meet about our evaluation and get our score for the year. So, like, mine was pretty much done at the beginning, and now all that is done, now I'm ready to meet and post my artifacts, which is my documentation showing what we've been doing in my class, and to also be evidence of what my goal was. And so, excuse me, y'all. I love teaching. Like I said, I've been doing it for 14 years. And like I said, a lot of changes are being made. But I try to go by what was asked of me. And I hope that I did well. Thank you. And good luck.